editor,
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 editor.
Russia 10 years ago. She's captain of the cross-country team, sports editor of the school paper.
Okay. What is it, Munchkin?
I want to be the editor of The New Yorker and the youngest freelance journalist to be published in the New York Times, LA Times, Boston Herald, and the Chicago Tribune.
Maybe I can take you with me one day. You could be my personal editor.
Well, look, that's my editor. What should I say?
So whose party is this anyway?
He's a big book editor and she's an interior designer. They know everybody.
yes,
Some cabin somewhere where you write angry letters to the editor.
Diane Kreshmer, editor-in-chief at Ashmont Press.
This is strictly business. I'm throwing a party for an editor friend in from London. I thought you two should meet.
Paper woman?
I'm the new editor of The Independent. Yeah.
My editor wants me writing about the Flash and only the Flash.
Is that a bad thing?
historical,
historical, historical,
historical,
historical,
Historical artifacts. Historical artifacts. Historical artifacts. Look.
Every drawing, every poem, every historical novel I wrote, every historical novel I wrote, every historical novel I wrote was for her. She was my muse.
Yeah. How'd you know?
The Historical Society, Whitney was looking up obscure documents and maps from the late 18th, early 19th century.
What are you doing, more historical research?
In this.
Oh, well, that's unusual.
Historical birch from a Wyoming snow fence, over 200 years old. Feel it.
So the clues, the symbol, it's all just a game.
It's a fundraiser for the New York Historical Institute. The clues lead to historic buildings where the players collect these old symbols.
Oh, just an old Cold War bunker with 3 feet of concrete all around it. At least that's according to the Historical Society.
Bold speech, Mr. President. Historical.
Okay, Fitz. What do you need?
More historical data. People have studied this thing for centuries. And
It was rife with historical inaccuracies.
Oh, no. I respect you. You're a historical landmark.
Case in point.
Like the Grand Canyon.
exposure,
exposure, exposure,
exposure, exposure.
Even if everything goes without a hitch, the 100 would die from exposure before relief arrives.
We all have them in case of exposure. In case of exposure. In case of exposure. Would you like to see the exit wound?
Exactly. That will ensure maximum exposure of talent to press.
There's no way I can have this kind of exposure. I can't cover for you anymore. And got 2 tickets for indecent exposure.
Science.
It's not wishful thinking. One second fine, the next bang isn't how exposure to radiation presents.
On the copycat Archer, instead of the undertaking. As for our collateral damage, I had to limit our exposure.
I see.
People showing symptoms.
Well, maybe exposure was selective. The count contaminated something that only certain people like you and Donna consumed. You would never risk the exposure.
You're right.
It's consistent with exposure to poison gas.
Warning. Tachyon output has passed acceptable tolerance range. Continued exposure is not recommended.
perfect,
Perfect, perfect, perfect, perfect.
It's a perfect day.
Parties are panicking. The bigger cities are the worst off. The airlines were the perfect delivery system.
By morning, you'll be gone! The perfect ending to this piece of shit story!
Perfect.
Perfect's a strong word, cuz. I got strong feelings, bro. I'm telling you. She might be the one. She's...
Makes perfect sense. It's very logical.
Wants to know.
You're Jenny. Well, it makes perfect sense now. Brody died and he...
Ugh, you're perfect together.
You guys have everything in common, you know, your ambition and your
And just when it's about to go too far, you suddenly turn sweet and find the perfect metaphor to pull it all together.
Hey, come on, no speech can do all that.
Doesn't come back. I'm to wait here on this beach, cock in hand.
It's the perfect place to tan, you tiny prick.
Well, if we don't return by then, so without it.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Tours in Iraq. Oh, yeah, won a Silver Star. Perfect. So,
To me, what has gone wrong between us?
Explain what?
My life is perfect. And then in the space of one day, it is...
She's perfect.
Duplicate.
Duplicate. Duplicate.
Duplicate.
Duplicate.
I duplicated the box. I duplicated the box. I duplicated the box. Switched out Fury's real box for a fake, and all this time I've been pretending to be working on it when...
Where is the real box now?
He realized how valuable the original was, and so he made a second duplicate to hand off to you.
The killer snapped a photo of this key and then made a 3D duplicate of it. Duplicate of it. Duplicate of it.
I saw Black create duplicates from his own body.
That's pretty ironic. The guy specialized in cloning, and now he can make Xeroxes of himself.
He did what exactly?
Instead of creating an artificial intelligence, he duplicated an existing one.
To find someone that we do know who's a duplicate in the system, like a family member who has died.
That's it.
If you knew the trouble I had getting an AI to read and duplicate facial expressions.
I longed for when the world was flat, because it's not only the camera systems duplicate, everything duplicates down the chain, right? So
Uncle Patty can come up with at least 10 more buyers. And we can get Guy to duplicate a book for each one of them.
It's duplicated down to the scratches.
I manipulated her into writing it for me. I knew she'd never be able to duplicate my flair for our evolving mother tongue.
Guess where I learned that from? A duplicate of the operating system made just before I did anything.
Minority. Minority.
Minority. Minority.
Minority.
Mr. Chairman, my client would be the first to tell you that hers is a minority view.
A minority view. A minority view. A minority view. A minority.
You're the minority. You're the minority. You're the minority. The net's on fire. People love these guys.
2007 at an award ceremony at which she shockingly was honored for her minority patient outreach work.
Look, I know I am in the minority here, but I actually believe in God.
6 terms in Congress, current ranking minority member of the pivotal House Rules Committee.
You must realize if we're successful, he will replace Walker.
I don't like Frank, but I hate being in the minority even more.
Minority leader Bob Birch said, "The president consistently demonstrates an utter lack of partnership coupled with reckless abandon."
Out in the general workforce, women earn 77 cents on the dollar compared to men. Even worse is minority women earning 67 cents on the dollar.
Suicide. Suicide. Suicide.
Suicide.
Suicide.
An adventure, Clark. It's a suicide mission. It's a suicide mission. It's a suicide mission.
Ultimately, it'll lead to her suicide. 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 Nice work, Daddy.
Who are you?
Why would you want to, Chuck? Why?
Because climbing down there when it's dark is a thin step short of suicide, that's why.
Give me gun back.
Look at back.
You're a suicide case. And you're trying to shoot me in the fucking head.
He wants us to get caught.
Follow the GPS. Turn around.
This is a suicide mission. You have to listen to me. We can't do this.
Ignore her.
Following his attempted suicide, he is being held at Sugamo Prison, awaiting trial for war crimes.
Suicide!
It is the only source of fresh water we've found, Saeed.
And staying on the beach in the sun without water. That's not suicide.
Your death
was officially ruled a suicide by the prison coroner on November 1st.
Outside of these walls, it's suicide, Edward.
I can make it to New Delphi. I like my chances.
Suicide does not fall under our mandate.
Normally, I would agree this isn't normal.
Maintenance.
Maintenance. Maintenance. Maintenance. Maintenance.
Oh, no, not all day. We do building maintenance, IT, maintenance, IT, maintenance, IT, office supplies, mail distribution.
How can we get to them? We could try the maintenance shaft. The maintenance shaft. The maintenance shaft. It's sealed on both sides, so you'd have pressurization.
My father was a pilot, and he used to do his own maintenance.
So you're hoping aircraft maintenance is genetic?
No, I used to help him, and I liked it.
It's in the maintenance tunnel underneath the stands.
I'll get the ball.
There's a maintenance man in the apartment building where my wife and I live.
Look, man, I'm telling you right off the bat, I'm high maintenance, so.
What's your 20?
I gotta stop by maintenance real quick. I'll be up in a minute.
No one's getting out of here if maintenance goes to replacing Schofield's toilet.
I got a way to help you with your Schofield problem.
Well, you got a maintenance guy waiting outside here, says you want him to change the locks.
Charlie in maintenance said you left us by the scanner.
You mean building maintenance?
That's it.
Oh, well, no one told me anything about it. Do you mind if I see your badge?
According to engineering, a routine maintenance accident forced them to eject.
Maintenance accident that didn't cause any damage?
Goes in, comes out 30 minutes later.
Scheduled maintenance?
Called Calcos, not due till next week.
Heritage.
Heritage. Heritage.
Heritage.
Heritage.
He's talking about him being Italian. He's talking about his heritage.
Yeah, and that's a totally different thing than being gay. See, heritage is, well, it's something that you're born with. And oh my God, what's wrong with me?
And with respect to your heritage, you're not gay. You're Vietnamese.
It's like an old Christmas tree skirt.
It's a traditional Colombian poncho. I want my new classmates to know I'm proud of my heritage. Heritage. Heritage.
I think you look very handsome. Lindo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I realize that attitude is part of your cultural heritage.
This is it. Rihanna's doing the kids' class. They call it the heritage class. She's really looking forward to that.
Well, we are very proud of our heritage, but Juanita can stand on her own merits. She's very bright.
But beyond that, I've always taken my heritage seriously.
This, Zetrov, Papa's legacy, your heritage.
Please.
But our heritage...
Let it die.
Yes, share a laugh or two. But I guess our rich heritage means nothing to you.
I guess you're right. See you later.
Wait, Leonard, wait!
That validates the cultural identity of our shared Native American heritage. Thank you.
The Volks American Society is an organization for New York citizens of German heritage.
ID.
Harold Wren, Universal Heritage Insurance, my associates.
Avoid. Avoid. Avoid.
Avoid.
Avoid.
We need you to avoid confrontation. We need you to appeal to her as a mother.
Professor Nash, let's avoid a scene, shall we?
Everything else at 80 to 100% of the cuts you propose. You get your win, Curtis. We just avoid disaster.
You asking me to negotiate a surrender?
No. I offer you a chance to avoid such misery and join me.
Most people, normal people, do just about anything to avoid a fight.
Excuse me.
Just a 6x8 cell with no window and only a bucket to shit in. But you can avoid all that by doing me this small favor.
High tide in exactly 2 hours and 48 minutes. We're going to take this ship through the eye of the needle to avoid Russian radar.
You ever been shot before, Miller?
Can't say I have.
All right, my advice, avoid it.
This is an excellent find, Mr. Vazidi.
Wow, focusing on your work to avoid personal issues has its rewards.
Yes, I often use work to avoid my personal life.
And the keypad is for texting, which is what you do when you want to avoid talking to someone.
Register.
Register. Register.
Register. Register.
Will you get me a cheeseburger and everything in the cash register? Cash register? Cash register?
I needed you all along. I don't even know how to register the phones. Register the phones. Register the phones.
All right.
This view at the deli was obvious because the cash register was right next to the security screen.
Where are we?
According to the time-coded register receipt here, this lottery ticket was redeemed seconds before the murder.
But you'd leave the original tenants on the Federal Register so that the government would continue to pay their rents.
So I'm stuck.
Okay, maybe they're too new to register.
Or 2 months without Pryor's answer to that.
We synced up the computer with your keycard logs. You want to register your protest now, Dennis?
Go on. Herpes might not register if she was exposed in the last 6 weeks.
I am gonna miss getting a free KitchenAid mixer. Can you still register for gifts even though you're not getting married?
Yeah. Where'd you get the money? The register? Is there anything going on behind my back?
Gardener.
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 Gardener. Gardener.
That's Bruno the gardener, the gardener, the gardener. And that's Maria the cook.
Who are you? Are you a gardener or something? Gardener or something? Gardener or something?
The housekeeper, Maritza, Carlos the gardener, the gardener, the gardener.
We're not contesting that my client was at the house that night.
Hey, Cam, does a gardener usually work on Saturdays?
I don't know. He comes when we need him. He's like Batman, but straight.
Sure, we'll get to the show on time. I'm sure Dad is just going to go out and give an encouraging word to the gardener, hopefully.
Hey, you're having lunch with the next DA.
Great. And you'll still earn less than our gardener, and I'll still be paying for lunch with my parents' credit card.
Julie's father has a retarded brother.
So what? He's not the gardener, is he?
Stephen!
Why can't you just do it?
Well, I always do it. I fired the gardener. It's not fair.
Gonna be a dealer, or you gonna be a fucking gardener, Pedro?
Tell you, in order for us to grow, we have to grow.
Who's that?
The gardener. I think his name's Edson.
You want to talk brave? How about Captain America's undocumented Mexican gardener?
Incompetence.
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 Every day you find a new way to push back the frontiers of incompetence,
You're beginning to think it's not incompetent. It's not incompetent. It's not incompetent.
I agree. I spoke to the chief about that.
This is an atrocity, gentlemen. Incompetence at its highest level. Incompetence at its highest level. Incompetence at its highest level.
Wasn't honest, but fuck that! Fuck you!
I can deal with his impotence. I cannot deal with your incompetence. What the fuck?
The level of incompetence displayed on this case, that's a magic trick in and of itself.
One cheap. So you renew the policy and then fire the prick for whatever, incompetence.
It was an accident. Incompetence often is.
Government's capable of evil? Yes, of course they are. All institutions are, but they're more capable of incompetence.
The incompetence of its managers, the neglect of its lords. Your incompetence has now cost 4 lives, Alderman.
We'll all end up hanging by our entrails from the stratosphere, or certainly under Gabriel's heel, because of their incompetence.
You think Katrina was incompetence? That was highly orchestrated negligence.
Generator. Generator. Generator.
Generator.
Generator.
Generator. It's impossible.
It's a magnetic field generator. To knock out the video feed to the cameras.
Check the generator.
We could be really helpful. We have HMI lights, we have generator, we have trawling gear.
Remember, you know the ship, they don't. Make them feel like they're in charge, but keep them away from the important things like the generator and the engine controls.
It's a gamble, Stephen. Say the power fails.
There's a backup generator.
And if that goes, the cell doors will open.
C4 to blow up the transformer. Wire cutters to disable the backup generator. Rope and pulleys for the air shaft.
Did you find anything?
Yeah, the design schematics of the earthquake generator, so we can shut it down.
Last year, he tried to purchase Malcolm Merlin's earthquake generator.
We need something that can transmit the load from the generator to Barry's body without shorting out.
They did it. They got the generator.
Never even hooked up a telephone. Same with the well and the generator.
Unprecedented.
Unprecedented. Unprecedented. Unprecedented.
Unprecedented.
It is impressive.
Yes.
You started working for me before you started working for me. That is unprecedented. That is unprecedented. That is unprecedented.
What is it?
Sir, it's happening. I just got 2 signatures, but unprecedented dilation. 40-meter spikes.
What category?
General Monroe, welcome back.
Good to see you, Pat.
Thank you for this unprecedented access to your operation.
That I don't bring new information and reports to the president. The progress that's been made on this disease is unprecedented.
Your investigations have manifested an almost entirely unprecedented fatality rate.
Now, I think what we need persistent. It's unprecedented.
She and this man leave the island on the eve of securing an unprecedented prize with no warning, no witnesses.
Asking me to spy on my family?
You have unprecedented access to Anton Renkoff and his organization. That is extremely valuable to us.
I don't want to talk. Which for me, I know is a little unprecedented. But...
Recovery. You wouldn't happen to know anything about this unprecedented medical development, would you?
A hell of a lot these past 2 weeks. Lived through this unprecedented event.
Abuse of power by a sworn officer of the law, and my misuse of HPD resources was unprecedented.
Layer. Layer. Layer.
Layer.
Layer.
Really got his nose in it. Layers and layers of layers and layers of layers and layers of financial crimes.
Entering ice layer now.
See, the cartons contain a thin layer of wax laminate.
Nominee, right? Couldn't get arrested after pole dance. She claws her way back. Bit part here, supporting part there.
Oh, man, but her tits and bricklayer.
I know.
Is it gonna hurt?
Just burning ink out of 8 layers of raw skin with the laser might sting a little.
When blood vessels burst, hemoglobin leaks under the layers of your skin.
Slowly incises a circle of skin. From the back of the hand, 1 layer of epidermis at a time.
What about that metahuman that is out there killing people?
We need to grab my backup weapons cache from the secondary layer.
You started cleaning.
Well, a layer of dust would do my sinuses no good.
Vision.
Vision. Vision.
Vision.
Vision.
A vision of your mother. Tell me about that. Tell me what happened. It was a dream. Well, tell me about the dream. Why?
I don't need his files. I just need to see his vision. See his vision. See his vision.
No. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm out.
I had a vision. I had a vision. I had a vision. I
I was in the presence of something.
5% of all animals don't have vision, and there are 8.7 million species.
The day I was born, my mama had a vision that I would lose much but be saved by a woman.
You are here to lead us, and we are here to follow, to execute your vision.
I don't have a vision.
Mustang's night vision. And his vision is what's saving the world.
And what exactly is his vision?
Let me remind you, too, that this is your vision. This is... They're gone.
What's gone?
My visions. The minute the earthquake hit, they stopped.
Look, where's Melanie?
I painted a vision. It may show us how to save her.
You're not real. Just a vision.
But I'm back in Storybrooke waiting for you.
You're dead. What? Of course I'm real. What the hell's going on? You're a vision. Just like Bo.
Divorce.
Divorce. Divorce.
Divorce.
Divorce.
Our connection must be severed. I'm going to divorce your sister.
Divorce. Divorce. Divorce.
Just tell me the fucking truth. Why did you divorce me? Why did you divorce me? Divorce me. Divorce me.
You want the truth?
Yes.
I'll tell you the truth.
He never mentioned that he was married before. When did you divorce? Divorce. Divorce. We didn't.
There's 1,000 reasons why I can't marry you.
But name me one!
My divorce isn't finalized.
We can get a divorce in a year without the government crawling all over us.
Signed as a security detail. Before I left the States, Cameron and I were already halfway through divorce proceedings. Yeah, technically we were married, but we weren't a couple.
Last time you spoke with her? Over the weekend. She was in the middle of a divorce case.
Please. Divorce is an extreme reaction.
Him a few times.
Really?
Michael had to divorce her, but he still felt guilty.
Husbands ago.
Well, you are more beautiful than ever. Divorce agrees with you.
That's why I keep doing it. Now.
And now I'm doing it again to Beth. She's probably gonna divorce me, but at least I can be around for the boys.
I don't like it.
Baby, I wouldn't read too much into this. Divorce makes people act crazy.
Highway.
Highway. Highway.
Highway.
Highway.
He's been driving on the highway. The highway. The highway.
Yeah. Here you go. You sure? Right in the middle of the highway.
Middle of the highway.
Really? All right. I'll tell you what then. I'll just call the police and I'll tell them that there's a criminal out here with a known warrant just hanging around the highway. Highway. I got a lot of evidence they'd like to see.
The whole extended family, all dressed in white, in a single file line down the staircase.
Oh, like a line on the highway. Highway.
No. Once I hit the coast highway, I didn't stop. I turned off my cell phone.
Get off the highway.
My dad's in the truck with a couple of bad guys. There's a highway over there. Emilio's down there, too.
We need to get to that highway, get someone to call a cop or something.
Ed, you take the witness prep on highway redistribution. Don?
You want to try the highway?
It's up to you. I'm just your tail.
Yeah, the police have him. I'm on my way to pick him up.
Bullshit. I just saw the Amber Alert not 5 minutes ago out on the highway.
Oh, I wasn't in the city proper.
No?
No, up the highway a clip. Little village by a lake.
That's him. West Side Highway. He's taking her out of the city.
Honey, where are you? I see your phone moving west on Highway 25.
We were driving.
Altogether.
Altogether. Altogether.
Altogether.
Altogether.
Just advocating for a temporary moratorium. I think we ought to phase out drilling altogether. Altogether. Are the Grays.
In fact, I'm dubious about the other two altogether.
How many people do you employ?
2. 3 of us all together.
In line, move them up, that's it, steady now. All together, that's it, keep in line.
So to speak.
I mean, I wouldn't say he was right altogether.
Then he is right partly.
Altogether, I have had 5 pints of beer and 6 bottles.
And indeed, might have done so altogether.
You spent 5 minutes with Wayne, and now tell me that he should be released altogether?
How's your fish?
Amazing. Would you like to try some?
Yeah, sure.
Well, the fact is you can't.
Come on, Howard, Bernadette, you're both scientists. Help me out here.
What do you think? Want to jump right in the middle of another couple's argument?
No, thank you.
Sorry.
Maybe we should just stop talking about this.
Maybe some of us should stop talking altogether. Maybe in a few weeks.
If he stays in the laboratory much longer, he's going to lose the ability to coexist with his own kind altogether. You know that.
Not necessarily.
Back into his body. That change in temperature should at least disrupt the growth of the pathogen, if not killing it altogether.
You're right, that sounds crazy.
Evolution.
Evolution. Evolution.
Evolution.
Evolution.
They need my early portfolio. Artistic evolution.
Yes, where are all of your preliminary sketches?
To move out.
Darling, this is not about you. This is about me. Think of it as a kind of evolution. You know, I'm starting to do very well for myself.
This is from beecircuit.com. It's a thread about the evolution of leafcutter bees. The evolution of leafcutter bees. The evolution of leafcutter bees. Why are you showing this to me?
So, our prime directive is to interfere with the cultural evolution of a pre-warp civilization.
I feel privileged to get to bear witness to the imaginative power of evolution that's created all these unbelievable...
It's an evolution when things burn.
You're sick.
Right, yeah, let me start from the top. Imagine 1,000 years of evolution taking place instantaneously.
And the new army. Choose, Tom Mason. Evolution or extinction.
That's what they told Dad about.
It's the evolution of the species, Ben.
They're brainwashing.
No, they've shown me the way forward.
This is not the way forward. This is not evolution. This is genocide. It's extinction.
Just stay with
Please
me.
listen to me.
This is your peaceful solution.
This is evolution. And the beauty part is the transformation can occur anywhere without violence.
Nature
But it
of
did prove that the military could shape its own evolution.
Absolutely.
Historic.
Historic. Historic.
Historic.
Historic.
Apparently, this is an historic piece of art.
Hey, Dina, I do have a new weather report, which is hot, sweaty, and I have an erection.
This is historic. This is historic. This is historic.
The Dinkum Firearm and Historic Weapons Museum?
That's right.
Following Dr. King's historic speech, many said that day brought about a new awakening in the conscience of the nation.
Now you know what it's like for me among your friends.
To celebrate this historic turn, I have a gift for the group.
How do people work here?
If Sergeant Scott redeploys within 24 hours, I want you to get a hold of military personnel. I want the historic roster for the platoon right away.
See, we Medicis have no historic name like the Patsis. We must rely on our wits.
Why do you know these things? I'm an autodidact. Also, there's a brochure up front.
No historic trails.
We want you back in the family, Sean. Historic things are happening.
Yeah, this is an auspicious moment. Like Robert Oppenheimer or Neil Armstrong, we need the appropriate words to mark this historic scientific event.
I don't like it. I mean, look, what if I hate oak?
Doesn't matter, you have to do it. Building's historic.
I mean, what you've achieved is historic. No one will ever know.
Carrier.
Carrier. Carrier. Carrier.
Carrier.
Step into the carrier. Step into the carrier. Step into the carrier. Quiet like.
Long or 50-50?
I'm afraid so.
And if they are carriers, what are the odds of them developing the disease?
I'm afraid it's 100%.
Tick.
The birds.
They're just the carriers. They just can't transmit it to humans.
Thought the birds from the Arctic were the original carriers.
The birds were the original carriers. Yes. It's airborne, which means you can get it from anyone who's a carrier, anyone manifesting the disease, even a recently deceased corpse. Box?
Uh-huh. It's flying in from the aircraft carrier as we speak.
I was expecting that.
I didn't expect to see you as a cook and a water carrier.
A night of discovery.
Yeah, you can find all of that on one of these. You may want to upgrade from carrier pigeons or whatever early man uses.
Bring the carrier about to a 180 heading south. Take us to the water.
Crack and jailbreak kids' phones, try and save for college. You know, I switch to wireless carriers, get them restricted apps.
There's a strong possibility that they'll attempt a pincer movement on our carrier group.
Did you know the French have the best carrier pigeons?
Black Hawk was using their system to store detailed routes and schedules for each of the city's 7 major armored car carriers, including the 3 that have already been hit.
Social.
Social. Social.
Social.
Social.
Social out there.
Social.
Social. Like a greeter at the Gap. Guy steps into your office, chat him up. You're well read. You went to school.
So what do you expect? You know, decent, hardworking Americans like my dad are getting rubbed out by social parasites. Social parasites. Social parasites.
Parasites?
I used to be a social worker. A social worker. A social worker.
Social worker? That makes sense, though.
Where would you have seen us before? Yeah, we travel in different social circles.
I don't know, they're awful short.
Move to a strange country, work 7 days a week, and have absolutely no social life? Of course I would. I wanted it so bad.
What's that supposed to mean?
Look, Mansfield has never accepted an invitation to do anything social with any of us. He always says it's his wife's birthday. She had like 19 birthdays last year.
As a bastard, your rank within the social order has been rigidly defined. You should endeavor to remain within it.
Honey, I am just trying to help you. You have to admit that your social life has been a bit anemic as of late.
Although having a cop for a dad didn't do much for her social life. Tara used to interrogate her dates when they'd drop her off.
He's not moonshine. He's been around people his whole life. And he's very social.
When was the last time either of you saw Anne?
He is. He's not going to revive this city with social services. He's going to bankrupt it with unfunded mandates.
Better than you. My social life consists of running at superhuman speed and Netflix.
We are quite the pair, Mr. Allen.
No name, no birth record, no social attached to it.
Crude.
Crude. Crude.
Crude.
Crude.
But you would prefer I ignore Coventry's ineptitude, lest more crude drawings appear.
In this context, how would you characterize the offer of employment in exchange for money?
Your description, well, crude is apt.
Late night media buy.
They sent it out to press. It will get some play. It's crude, but effective.
An upright ape living in dust with crude language and tools.
Over 500 million tons of raw materials arrive in Shanghai every year by sea. Supplies of crude steel, coal, wood, copper.
Buffalo, jockey,
Watch your red skin back, white pride bitch, and some crude drawings.
With Owen, the solution was to build a wall. A bit crude, I admit, but the memory wipe did its job. Your plan's a bit crude.
You got a better idea?
A crude weapon, if I may say so, Dr. Wells.
I couldn't agree more, good hint.